A ver. Hostia, esto es full in-game, ¿eh? Hostia, se ve bien.
Unlike some of its peers, The Forest, the survival horror game from Canadian-based studio Night Games, delivered on not just the popular gather and craft survival game format,
si
but
vinculas
also
tu
added a
cuenta de Pottermore
surprisingly
se supone que
complex.
podrás usar tu varita de Pottermore, no sé si el patrón o si tu casa se queda en saludos mamá huevo.
Pottermore. Sal a tocar césped, cabrón. Pottermore. Broma. Halloween, un abrazo, muchas gracias. Es que yo no sé lo que es eso y no tengo varita ahí.
And equally bananas story
Que
featuring
broma,
cannibals and
me
mutants.
apetecía decir
With
eso.
the immediate arrival of its long-awaited sequel, Sons of the Forest, comes not only the pressure
Te quiero
to
mucho,
top the
Halloween,
beloved
no
experience
enfades.
of the original, but also to add some new and increasingly wild surprises. And based on the 5 hours that I've played so far, I'm not only excited about the
Me
sequel.
hago un test después de en qué casta debería estar. Aunque yo ya sé a qué casa voy. Yo voy a ser Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw, porque son inteligentes, guapos, divertidos y carismáticos, como yo. Como yo. Y les encanta la ciencia y el espacio, el universo. Como a mí. Soy yo, tía. Soy literalmente yo.
Potential, but also confident that Night could revolutionize the survival genre.
Halfway, no te enfades, por favor.
The Forest begins with a simple premise. You've
Vale,
crash
espérate, aquí
landed on a
pone.
mysterious
Esto es de
peninsula and
2018.
begin your
Nos está
quest
contando
to
la vida
survive at all
de un juego que nos
costs.
acabamos de pasar
There was
hace
also the
nada.
optional objective of finding your kidnapped son,
Sí.
a task that would take you
Tienes que
down
encontrar a tu
wild
hijo,
and disturbing
nosotros lo
narrative
encontramos. Y yo creo que la segunda parte va a ser sobre el hijo. En plan, vas a controlar al hijo,
Seeking
seguramente.
your son for a missing billionaire. It's a basic idea, but one that allows you to jump straight into the action, allowing players who have no intention of progressing the rescue mission to solely
Te quedaría ir a Hufflepuff con esos pelos. Mods, ¿podéis banar a una persona que se llama OZZ del chat? Gracias.
focus on building their very own lakeside resort with some friends right away. Just like its predecessor, you can play, build, and cause chaos with 7 of your friends in co-op, but you can still see everything Sons of the Forest has to
se
offer
ve
in
muy bien,
single player. The big difference this time,
Internet con
though,
batería
is
y
that
todo.
even when you play solo, you're not alone.
Solo.
Enter Calvin.
Calvin, vas a estar
At the
acompañado.
very start of Sons of the Forest, you're introduced to Calvin,
¿Qué le
an
pasa?
elite soldier
Parece Piqué, ¿eh? Y no lo digo en plan de... ¡Es un Casio! No, es literalmente Piqué. ¿Qué le pasa? ¿Qué le pasa?
who not only survived the helicopter crash that stranded you on the island, but is also very much along for the survival ride as an AI companion. While Calvin has suffered some major head trauma that
Los oídos de Piqué después de escuchar la tiradera.
has left him unable to speak, his injuries have not, perhaps surprisingly, prevented him from being extremely helpful. In an apparent effort to replicate the
Y te va a acompañar
multiplayer
Piqué en toda esta
experience of
aventura.
solo players,
Tócate los
Calvin will
huevos.
follow you around and respond to commands issued via
Tócate los
handy
huevos.
quick select
O sea, dicen que te va a acompañar aunque juegues offline, ¿sabes? O sea, es un NPC que te va a estar siguiendo, sí o sí.
such as chopping down trees and gathering logs. During my hands-on, the value of having an AI companion was immensely noticeable. There was a huge benefit to sending Calvin off to find resources, while my co-op partner and I focused on designing our structure. I'd regularly turn around to find a fresh pile of logs for our disposal, with Calvin already on his
A mí
very
eso no me gusta mucho, ¿eh? Lo de tener a un tío contigo todo el rato. Uf. Ojalá puedas pegarle una paliza, ¿sabes? Tirarlo al río y que nunca le veas más. Para poder vivir la experiencia survival 100%, ¿sabes? Ojalá.
to collect more. Not only will Calvin somewhat provide company for solo players, but he offers helpful, time-saving resources even when in a group, putting a significant dent in the busy work of
No sé qué es la Atomic Heart.
This
Muchos me habéis
affords
dicho
more time to
que
either
lo vea,
script
pero
a
no sé qué es todavía, tío.
or plow
Ahora lo
forward
chequeo.
on a cannibal killing quest. Calvin has a mind of his own though, well, at least to some degree. He sits down to rest when he gets tired and seeks water when he's thirsty. He'll also become upset if you treat him poorly, which makes him less
Vale, dice que el tío te puede ir a buscar agua si tienes sed, que si le tratas mal, él te trata mal, o sea...
productive and thus decreases the value as a companion. And if you decide you're not interested in having a worker bee along for the ride, you have the option to disable Calvin in the most realistic way possible. Shoot him in the head and you'll remove him from your session.
Dicen que le puedes pegar un tiro en la cabeza y se pira de tu partida. ¡Qué guapo! ¡Hostia! Bien, justo lo que he dicho, chat. Podemos matarle. De puta madre.
permanently. You're limited to one Calvin per multiplayer session, so the dream of a legion of Calvins can't be fulfilled. But the developers...
Y solo puedes tener un Calvin por cada sesión multiplayer. O sea, no... Si te metes con 4 amigos, no van a tener cada uno un pique ahí para ayudarles, ¿sabes? Sino que spawnaría solo uno. Siempre habrá uno, juegues como juegues.
assured me that there are other companions you can find as you progress, each with their own unique AI. During my playtime, I caught a glimpse of Virginia, a mutant with 3 arms and 3 legs. She quickly scouted
Virginia, la que te cuento, tú. La que te cuento.
approached her and definitely had more of a skittish sensibility than Calvin. But the developers told me that she can eventually be recruited and will become attached to you over time should...
Oh, ¿qué cojo? ¿Hola? Claro, la tía como tiene 3 brazos puede llevar una escopeta en las 2 manos y en una tercera mano una pipa, ¿sabes? Una Glock. ¡Qué guapo! Este sí que quiero que me acompañe.
Her instincts to that of an elusive and independent cat, which stands in opposition to Calvin's lovable and obedient dog. The AI improvements aren't limited to just companions though. On our expedition we came across several groups of enemies, ranging from a cluster of cannibals to a mob of monstrosities, each demonstrating their own impressive decision-making abilities. It felt like my enemies were thinking and making active decisions based on not only...
Dicen que la inteligencia artificial de los enemigos ha mejorado un poco. O bueno, bastante, se supone.
Te ayuda a hacer deberes de sobrevivencia, Rubius. ¿Lo podemos matar? ¿Lo podemos matar? Holy shit.
My actions, but also their situations.
Que le jodan, hombre. Yo quiero una experiencia survival de verdad, no a un tío ahí que está babeando y sangrando por los oídos ayudándome. Quita, coño. Le tiro por el barranco, vamos.
Generally have 2 modes of behavior, patrol and attack. But in Sons of the Forest, some foes would just be extremely wary and just interested in what...
Pero si tú pediste ayuda al chat, no es lo mismo, gente. No es lo mismo. No es lo mismo. Yo fui una buena persona y hice que seguidores míos me pudieran conocer a través de un videojuego, porque soy un streamer humilde, chicos. Fue como una quedada y les di una lección bastante valiosa de lo que es la vida, de que cuando trabajas y te esfuerzas en algo, consigues recompensas.
Watching what I do, while others would charge in aggressively, only to back down when things didn't go their way. I saw enemies consoling their fallen friends, changing their clothes depending on the weather conditions, and even trying to destroy my newly erected home when my back was turned. It was clear to see that the enemies...
Y de paso construyeron toda mi base. Pero porque ellos quisieron, porque ellos también eran humildes, como yo.
Were not only following coded rules, but also adapting their thoughts based on the external influences.
Eres Slytherin, ahora hacemos la prueba esa. A ver de qué casa... Aunque me va a sudar, yo voy Ravenclaw en el juego 100%.
And that each individual has their own tastes, desires and proclivities. From my small taste of Sons of the Forest, I didn't really get a sense of how deep this system is and how much it'll affect your experience. But the teasers I saw filled my mind with dozens of possibilities. I saw enemies adapting to changing their ecosystem and weather conditions, which now cycle through seasons that change as you progress.
Dicen que habrá distintas épocas del año. O sea, habrá, parece ser, invierno, otoño, verano, primavera, todo esto en el juego y que irán cambiando, obviamente no a la lentitud de la vida real, pero que habrá cambios. O sea, que lo que en un principio estaba... Ahora lo veremos. Lo que en un principio era como es un sitio súper verde y tal, lleno de flores, puede acabar siendo esto, ¿sabes? El bioma de nieve.
I even accidentally triggered a war after I stupidly opened the entrance to the game's complex underground cave network.
La verdad es que no me quiero spoilear mucho más. Quiero que las cosas estas sean sorpresas, ¿sabes? Porque después me acabo informando tanto de los juegos que al final no me sorprende nada, ¿sabes? Así que le jodan. No quiero ver más. Test de casa de Hogwarts. A ver.